so too, and they all use it. I've had my bearers at the end of the day always just beat themselves with nettles, and they say it feels great.
And there are also, you probably encountered this, Nicole, there is this concept of a culture-specific disease, and there are a lot of these in the Amazon, and a lot are cured by ayahuasqueros. I can't remember the term, you probably know it, Nicole, but when your luck goes off.
Oh, yeah, I wrote ivory. I thought it meant I smelled bad, but it didn't. It meant I'd been having a lot of bad luck. Everything went wrong.
And
mal-aire.
Mal-aire, and that's a disease. You have a problem.
Oh, susto. Susto is interesting too. Susto is fear. You get sick from if you're badly startled. And babies especially are susceptible to this. Give a baby a bad scare and you'll get sick. Well, maybe. Do they do that in our civilization?
Not really. You don't
get a chill.
Huh?
Get a chill. Some people think that if you get a chill, that you'll get sick from it. Similar sort of shock, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And but they recognize a lot of psychological states as being the cause of illness. Depression, or you don't see much of that. In fact, remarkably few neuroses are notable.
Well, this is, I think, is the legacy of shamanism.
I do too.
That where shamanism is a healthy institution, neurosis is virtually unknown.
You do see an occasional psychosis.
But that could be a genetic predisposition.
It can also be through injury.
True. Yes, serious psychosis seems to arise from a different set of causes, but neurotic activity is, and people suppress.
It's very rare.
It is rare.
Well, so is psychosis. But the Chulichaka is supposed to make you nuts.
Is that the guy with the beard who comes?
No, he's with his feet on backwards.
Oh, yeah. They have all these demons that they fear.
Augustine says he knew a Chulichak. He saw him quite often. I gathered with other friends. I wouldn't put it past Augustine. He's a sculptor, magnificent. He's come to live in the States. His work's superb. It's frightfully interesting.
Agostino Rivas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there are people here who know him. He has quite a reputation.
Pat?
Yes, that was a question I was saving for this afternoon.
About what?
I understand that neuroses and psychoses have increased in the Amazon and in other parts of the world, like obsessive neuroses, anxiety, depression, and psychopathological.
Well, yes, they're getting colds in the head, too.
Are there any plant medicine that are being used in the way that we use psychoactive drugs?
Ayahuasca. That's what it is. The reason psychosis and all this is increasing is simply that stress is increasing worldwide.
And that's why just as they have got measles now and whooping cough, which are incidentally fatal there, because they don't have the immunities that we have developed. And they kill an awful lot of children unless they're vaccinated. The missionaries now, most missions, no matter what kind, vaccinate all the children they can get too, because they want to save them.
Well, we were also talking previously about the American or the Western pharmaceutical companies wanting to make profit, and yet there are outfits that, quote, are non-profit, like Direct Relief, who distribute American
I don't know any.
like for measles, vaccination, that sort of thing.
Oh, that sort of...
Why isn't there a non-profit organization from Western civilization that can go to these other countries and extract
Because that's not what they're for.
Medicinal.
That's not what pharmaceutical companies are for.
No, I'm not
They're
talking
out to make money, they're not out for...
about a non-profit organization.
Well, you see, it would be possible, you would think, for like a feminist collective to create a non-profit pharmaceutical company, concentrate on these drugs that relate to women and reproduction. This is the kind of political action that hasn't been tried yet. Everything is done old style, but I think there would be tremendous opportunities for
And I think great support.
Yeah.
And there is nothing right now.
No,
Nothing.
Botanical Dimensions, which is far from that, is the closest thing. But you need, somebody who's really intensely committed to getting these contraceptives out. And as a political thing, with no motivation or very little motivation to turn a profit, then you could probably get somewhere. This abortion pill that's being developed in France, which is the pharmaceutical equivalent of one of these abortifacients, is obviously going to change the whole reproductive freedom argument. Much of the position of the right to life people just becomes irrelevant. All it means is that we're going to have one more illegal drug to worry about in this society, but one addressed not to psychoactivity, but bioactivity.
Well, Terence, the main problem is getting the plants from over there over here.
No.
No, the development, testing, and satisfying of the government.
Well, who needs that if you just have a seed catalog and you're selling seeds to people?
Well,
Whoever's going to grow them.
But
Some of these things are very difficult.
And you have to be
But
careful
some of them aren't.
if you're going
You were
to
saying they
interfere
have
with the
lots.
reproductive system. I mean, this is delicate stuff here. You want to know that you're not going to have a negative fallout 20 or 30 years in the future. But getting the plants is not a problem. A $50,000 investment would get all of these plants back to Southern California in a greenhouse, cataloged.
Wouldn't keep the greenhouse long, though.
No, it would take $5 million to go from there to a product on the market freely available to women. It's the development, testing, and certification that is just fiendishly difficult because these chemical companies, it's a big boys game.
Well, you know that most of the FDA people who are in big jobs, with the FDA, important jobs, go on to very highly paid jobs with pharmaceutical houses.
But what I'm looking at is sort of a small industry where people are encouraged to plant their own plots. Like
Well, I would be afraid
could
of
be
that.
done.
You'd be afraid of that?
Yes, because how do you know they get the right stuff? You'd have to be very sure of that, because some close relations are apt to be toxic.
We had an idea that is still alive. It was not clear it was for Botanical Dimensions to do, but someone could do it, of what we called the Botanical First Aid Kit. And what you would do is you would survey the entire world's known catalog of medicinal plants, and out of that you would select a plant for migraine, a plant to cause abortion, a contraceptive, a hallucinogen, an antidiuretic, an anti-dysentery, say 12 plants. And then you would grow these in a huge greenhouse and build little care packages of living plants that could be then sent to third world people, and they would just grow these things in their dooryard. Most third world people have local, but if the ayahuasca is prophylactic for malaria, you distribute it in the kit throughout the
But
warm
isn't it
tropics.
supposed to be rather good for parasites too?
Oh, it's proven for parasites. The malarial thing is more speculative.
Well, that's a parasite.
But you see, you're giving people a self-renewing pharmacy in their own backyard.
Right, but even right here in the United States, there are all kinds of people who, given a few seeds or cuttings of something, would